no! I thought for sure this horse was dead, but no, the old White Witch issue is back. A lot of old wounds are being opened right now. I mean, my reaction to seeing this was just, I mean, first I just think it was confusion, and then absolute shock and horror, and no, and then I think I just kind of started laughing. It was like, cause I just immediately imagined there was a room of Fox executives somewhere saying, you know what would really freak Narnia Webbers out? You know what would really stir up the controversy? You know what would just freak them out if we brought the White Witch back? Oh, this issue. I just can't believe that for the next 7, 8 months, whatever it is, I can't believe we're going to be talking about the White Witch, no matter how brief her role is or whatever, no matter what, if it's a dream, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be talking about the White Witch for the next 7 months. And to be honest, that's my big emotion right now is like, oh, I don't want to go back there. Please don't make me go back to the White Witch issue. I'm done with that. Like when she appeared in the Prince Caspian trailer. The witch. No! Freaked people out. And that was one of the major issues that was being discussed all the way up to the film's release. And obviously that was one of the major issues when reviews started coming out. So that's kind of my main thing here is that's what's so comical about it. I can't believe, and also I think we may need to ban joking on Narnia Web, period, because this is another thing it's kind of been a running joke in the past couple of years. You know, after Prince Caspian was, I wonder how could they squeeze in Tilda Swinton to Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Oh, they do have her stone knife. They have the White Witch's stone knife at the end. What if they did something there? And obviously Narnia Web posted as an April Fool's joke. You know, sometime before Prince Caspian came out, there was going to be a Susan Caspian romance. We thought it was funny. We thought it was a joke because they would never do that. It'd be ridiculous. That's why I made a good April Fool's joke. And they actually did it. So we may have to just ban joking on Narnia Web. And I don't know if we're giving them ideas or what. But that's kind of my main issue here is that I just really don't feel like going back there. You know, too many painful memories of that. And ultimately, the scene wasn't necessarily bad in that it wasn't this big, in Prince Caspian, I mean, it wasn't like a huge blasphemy against the books or anything. I just thought it was kind of a dumb scene. Like, it seemed kind of signals for me the movie's starting to derail. Visually, it's one of the most impressive scenes in the movie. But every other aspect is just like, you feel the story starting to kind of lose focus. I like the first 2 acts, and to me, that's the part where the movie starts kind of derailing a little bit. And I didn't really know what to do after the night raid. Well, let's have the White Witch in there. Let's have a battle, and why not? But anyway, so that's my issue. That's my main issue right now. But anyway, the main priority, of course, is the film itself. What is this? What are the implications of the film itself? Well, according to Paul from NarniaFans.com, the glimpse is very brief, and you shouldn't worry about it, And I disagree with Paul on a number of things. He's a very dedicated Narnia fan. He loves Narnia, but I disagree with him on a number of things as far as adaptations of the first 2 films. But nonetheless, he does say it's very brief, which might mean it's the kind of thing where I can just, okay, whatever, dumb thing, but whatever, it doesn't affect the whole story or anything. So I'm not that worried about the White Witch in that sense. I don't think it's going to ruin the movie or anything, and I do think it'll be pretty contained. This won't affect the entire story. It's very reflective of a larger issue, I think, in that the Narnia films are very commercially based. That's their foundation. Now, I'm hoping to elaborate on this more in a future video by what exactly I mean and why I think this is the most fundamental problem with this series and why the first 2 Narnia films, well, I think they're pretty good films and pretty good adaptations. Nothing great, but they're pretty good. Are kind of unsatisfying. It's because obviously the goal of movies is to make money. That's why they make movies, to make money. They wouldn't make them if they couldn't make money. That being said, I think most movies begin with somebody saying, "No one's ever done that before," or "Wouldn't that be interesting?" Or "Oh, they've done that, but no one's ever done it this way before." Someone getting some kind of an idea, some kind of a creative spark. And I'm gonna hopefully elaborate more on this more in a future video. I wanted to talk about it in the previous video, didn't have time. But Narnia began with, I think this is the inspiration for deciding to make these books into movies now, was, well, Lord of the Rings was a super hit. Harry Potter's a super hit. It's only showing signs of becoming more of a super hit. This is what the market wants. We got to give them fantasy films. Let's do Narnia. That's kind of the next logical thing to do. That's the next frontier. So what does this have to do with the White Witch? Well, I think the reason she's in there, and yeah, maybe it'll kind of work for the story or whatever, but I think the reason they said, well, let's bring the White Witch back, is that Tilda Swinton is now an Oscar winner. And my guess is that Tilda Swinton is contractually obligated to appear in a certain number of Narnia films. And I can just imagine the discussion where it's like, well, gosh, all we have to do is ask an Academy Award-winning actress to appear in our film, and she's contractually obligated to do so. how can we not do this, you know? And so I think that's the reason she is in the movie, is because they want to put her on posters and trailers and stuff. So that's why it kind of touches that nerve. The teaser poster kind of touched that nerve too. Or it was just no artistic value whatsoever, didn't tell you anything about the film, just purely commercial. You know, just commercial junk is all that poster was. And this kind of touches that nerve a little bit too, this White Witch issue. I think the only reason she's in the film is because they want to put her in the marketing, because that's going to be a big box office draw. So that's my main issue with this. So how will I feel about it when I see it in the theaters? It might not bother me that much. It's just reflective of a larger issue, of a major problem, I think, with the series. Now, there are some other things in this poster, too. Peter and Susan are in the poster, and this piece of marketing, and this isn't a poster, I should stop calling it a poster. This is a theater stand, not an official poster. But you also see Peter and Susan here, and they appear to be images from Prince Caspian. I think I said in the forum, if the teaser poster was one of the most uninspired pieces of Narnia marketing yet, this might be the weirdest piece of Narnia marketing yet. Like, just the whole thing, there's something very odd about it. And then having the White Witch in there and Peter and Susan in there from the previous film, just kind of odd. Not that worried about Peter and Susan. You know, there's no reason to believe they're going to actually be on board the ship or anything. In fact, I think in an interview some time ago, one of the filmmakers said, I think it was Adamson, maybe had said, yeah, we considered at some point bringing them back, and then just said no. So I think they're going to have a brief appearance, maybe, you know, just towards the beginning of the film, I would imagine. As far as adaptation, doesn't bother me, but as a standalone film, this is kind of related to the White Witch issue a little bit, as far as bringing back main characters from previous movies just for brief appearances. Kind of like Scarecrow has a brief scene at the beginning of Dark Knight. And to me, there's something about that just is kind of odd. You know, just bringing back a major character and just there for a second. There's something that just seems kind of random about that. As far as adaptation, Peter Susan having a cameo wouldn't bother me terribly. It seems like it could be kind of random. Although, obviously, that doesn't apply to every movie. They could find a cool way to do this. As a piece of marketing, I don't know what else to call this. This is a really dirty piece of marketing, Fox. If Peter and Susan really are going to have a brief appearance, and if the witch is only really going to have a brief appearance, and you're featuring them in the poster, people who haven't read the book are going to look at that, and maybe some people who have read the book, they'll be freaking out, will look at it and say, oh, the White Witch is going to be in this movie. Oh, Peter and Susan, all 4 kids are back, you know? Really, really misleading. And so it's just like, well, great. The first teaser poster told us nothing at all. This tells us something, but it's really misleading. And then they have Reepicheep twice. You know, it's like Reepicheep being one of the only things that everyone liked about Prince Caspian. Well, they got to put him in there. So they put him in twice to really emphasize the Reepicheepness of this movie. And again, it's just kind of annoying, I guess. It may not reflect the film, although I do hope that since they're very aware, it's obvious, that Reepicheep was something that everyone liked about Prince Caspian, fan or non-fan. Pretty much everyone liked Reepicheep. I hope that doesn't hinder his development as a character, because Reepicheep, he's still very much the same character in Voyage of the Dawn Treader, but at the same time he matures and evolves into something else, something deeper. I hope they don't say, oh, we just got to take who Reepicheep was in Prince Caspian and just make him more of that in Dawn Treader. People will love that. That could really hinder his development as a character and really hinder what makes Reepicheep interesting. I'm not saying that'll happen, but that's would be one of my concerns with Reepicheep being in the marketing so much, them so obviously being aware, you know, that he's going to be a big box office draw, I think, having him back in there. But, so, my feelings on the film, I don't know. I'm just really annoyed with what Fox is doing with the marketing right now. This seems really dirty, and the teaser poster being so boring and uninspired. I'm sure the trailer will have lots of Reepicheep, and it might even have a little bit of the White Witch. I think that's the only reason told us there, is to say, oh, I'm going to be in the film, come see it. And my feelings on the film, I don't know how much different I feel about the film. I'm a little bit discouraged, I suppose, but more just kind of annoyed with how this is being presented right now.